Welcome into Deseret News Rewind. Dusty Litster and Dane Stewart, as always, presented by Heidemann and Associates and brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard.
That's right, Dusty. And just want to remind you, Heidemann and Associates, a full-service law firm. Hey, we're getting ready for fall sports to come. We're going to be back competing for championships. If you are looking for a championship lawyer, there's no better place to go than Heidemann and Associates. Call them, tell them Deseret News Rewind sent you. You'll get a free consultation. They have law offices down in St. George, up and down the Wasatch Front. Give them a call at 801-754-4240. Call to schedule your free consultation today.
Yeah, Justin's done a great job. We want to thank him for his support of Deseret News Rewind. Also, if you're looking for the next change in your life, we talked about this before, go to the Utah Army National Guard. There are over 150 job training opportunities through the National Guard. And always, we talk about the signing bonus, the ability to make that change while not hurting you financially. The $20,000 and this signing bonus, go to nationalguard.com. And we want to welcome a new teammate to Deseret News Rewind. There's a reason why we look so sharp in this video, our 30 for 30 video. That is because of our good friends at Black Clover. So presented by Heidemann Associates, brought to you by the Utah Army National Guard, and now outfitted by Black Clover.
That's right, Dusty. And hey, we talk about coaches that have a dapper look to them. Watch out, coaches. We're coming up on you. Black Clover, they've got all sorts of different clothing, men and women's gear, stylish polos. They even have hats. Folks, I'm not going to lie. I love my Black Clover hat. To learn more, you can visit them at blackcloverusa.com or visit their store just off 123rd South next to the water park.
Well, in this video, we're going to be going through numbers 15 to 11. We're getting awfully close to the top 10 and then the top 5 and the number 1 team in the state of Utah. And I think we're going to have plenty of conversation about that. But Dane, let's jump right in. Let's not waste any time. Number 15, we left the last video in Region 8. We go right back to Region 8 in the team that made it all the way to Rice-Eccles Stadium for the first time in school history, the Salem Hills Skyhawks.
Dusty, I think I saw something as I was doing my prep. I want to say that I saw something that said Salem Hills has never won a region title in football. And you think about the talent that's come through there, it's like, wait, really? Could this be the year? I don't know. I think Region 8 is going to be really strong. But for me, when you look at the pieces they have coming back, and it all starts with Jared Elmer. This young man had a great year last year as a junior. He's going to be back. Coach Higginson, now the new head coach, was a key assistant on the staff last year for Salem Hills. Talk about Elmer being back, Johnson back, Hollow back as well for Salem Hills. They do lose Ware and Hughes, a couple players that were key contributors last year, have graduated, moved on. You know, you look at the top 3 in Region 8. We talked about Salem Hills, Maple Mountain, Provo. Those are going to be great games this year. You'll want to make sure you check them out. For me, I give the edge to Salem Hills because they return the quarterback, and a quarterback who has shown that he can do it week in, week out. I expect a big year, no pressure from Jared Elmer.
Hey, the kid handles pressure situations. We saw in the first week of June. He goes deep in the last chance tournament when they need him the most.
Only Jared Elmer can't bring that out on the field with him this fall. So
figurative, carry a big stick. So number 14, a team that we've seen perennially be very, very good. Went 10-2 last year, but they graduate. I mean, we talked about Mr. Reggie Graff and the 85% of the offense. Well, 95% of the offense has graduated from Olympus, but Coach Aaron Whitehead has that program rolling. He has everything installed there, and we still think that Olympus will be very strong.
Yeah, I mean, you graduate, Goodson. You also graduate Hopkins, who was a great rusher last year, won an award on Deseret News Rewind here for his 2019 season, 1,700 yards, I think 19 touchdowns. You also graduate Scotty Edwards. Man, it felt like he was the face of Olympus for the last couple of years. But, if there's a coach who is maybe underappreciated for the program he's built, it's got to be Coach Whitehead at Olympus. We talk about some of these programs that are just on a reload basis. And right now, that is Olympus football. Crazy. Who would have ever thought we would have said that 5 years ago, right? But that's the status of Olympus right now. I don't know who those pieces are going to be, but I've just stopped doubting because I've been on the outside of Olympus fans for a long time. I'm trying to become one of them. We got Olympus here at number 14. I think they're going to be a real good team in Region 6.
Well, what we know is that there is an O in Olympus, and that O
there
scores
is
some points.
A C as well. We've seen that the last couple of years.
Let's go from Olympus now down to a team that, I mean, it was a turning of an era when I can no longer do, and this is the last chance I'm going to have to be an easy reference of Manukin. Carson Manukin is gone, but the Lehi football has to continue. And you still have a Cooper on there. Creighton Cooper is still at the helm of the Lehi Pioneers, who come in at number 13.
Yeah, they return Wren as well, who was a key defender for this squad last year. You talk about Cooper. Man, what a year he had last year. 2,600 yards, 33 touchdowns, threw 20 interceptions. Obviously, you'd love to see that number come down a little bit. But this is a young man who can sling it, and he's got a great arm. He loses McKay Wall. You talk about an option offensively who's been so stout for – obviously, Mnookin's been great. McKay Wall last year was that guy, no fear over the middle. Going to be interesting to see what they do with that. Ehad as well, defensively graduates, so some pieces they're going to have to figure out how to replace. But we talk about a program that's been built. Coach Larson's done a great job at Lehi, and this Lehi squad, I think, is going to be really strong behind improved quarterback play. And it was great last year, but even better quarterback play from the senior Cooper this year.
Yeah, it's going to be very important, that quarterback play. We saw that in the state tournament and all that. Congratulations to Creighton and picking up that Utah State offer, as there is an Aggie in the house on this video. I know he's pretty excited about that. Coming in at number 12. There it is. Coming in at number 12, the Kearns Cougars.
This is another team that has some good young talent coming back. Now, they graduate Lynn. They graduate Afatasi. You want to talk about face of a program. Afatasi has been that. But you look at Naki Leha. This was one of the great young running backs last year. Was just a sophomore last year. Won an award here on Deseret News Rewind in his 2019 season. Kelly is back, who's a really good option downfield in this offense. And then Jeff Bassa. How about this young man's recruiting? Dusty's got offers from Oregon, all over Oklahoma State, all sorts of big-time programs offering this young man. And he has a chance to be a real playmaker on both sides of the ball. Had key plays last year on both sides, offense and defense. Look for Jeff Bassa to be the guy this year for the Kearns Cougars as they look to defend their Region 2 championship, and I think the favorite to do so.
Yeah, and they've been the Region 2 champion favorite for, it feels like, a decade now. And Coach Matt Rickards has been able to build there, and every touchdown scored at Kearns, according to me, is by Jeff Bassa. So that's just the way that goes. The last one in our next 5 in our top 15. And this feels so good. I mean, I feel like we're going in the way back machine a little deeper than it would have been the beginning of our coverage when we started 16 seasons ago. But the Brighton Bengals, the one thing that's certain, if it's a Bengals team that's going to be good, it's got a Barton attached to it.
We've done so much work, Dusty, to get myself back in the good graces of Olympus fans, and then I go and do something like this, right? We put Brighton ahead of them in our preseason top 25. But I think Brighton's going to be really good this year. You look at what Coach Hem did in just his first year last year, instilling an entirely different offense, and the way that thing went. 8-3 last year. I know they lost to Olympus, but they had a fantastic year. I think they're going to be really strong this year. They graduated Cirillo, but Gabe Curtis is back. You talk about Barton and the Barton family, what they've been to Brighton Athletics over the years. This is a young man that I think is a sophomore last year, if I recall correctly. Big kid, and we saw him on the basketball floor as well, but man, he will lay his pads into you, and a real great defender. The sky's the limit for this young man. This Brighton piece, they were so young last year. All the pieces they have coming back, I think the Bengals are going to be really strong here in 2020 in Coach Hem's second year.
That's the thing about Brighton. It's finally coming back to them. And not only that, in the coming years, I believe, I got good sources. There's a Carbon County connection coming up there too. A son of a dino is going to be coming up the ranks there at Brighton. So they'll get a lot of attention here on Deseret News Rewind.
I was going to say, what that means. They get some Dusty love.
A lot. We just stick together. So, but anyway, let us know what you think. We get ready to go in the top 10. You see our first 15. Let us know what you think at D News Rewind, at Dana_Stewart, at Dusty Litster. And again, go check out the people that support us. That's why the show goes. Heidemann Associates, get your family taken care of, any law needs you need. If you need that step in the right direction, Utah Army National Guard. And of course, if you want to look good, I'm not saying we look good, but they certainly make us look a lot better the way we do than we normally do. Go check out our friends at Black Clover USA, or go to their store right off 123rd South. Not just a corporate office. That is a store inside of there. If you want to feel the drape and the touch of the fabric and see the drape, you want to do that and live lucky through Black Clover. And for Vince Francis and Dane Stewart, I'm Dusty Litzer. Thanks for joining us and watching Deseret News Rewind on Deseret.com.